Hello, I'm on my day 28 streak as I am recording this. What happens on retention and why you get so much luck and positive social interactions, and maybe people even reach out to you that normally would not reach out to you. Like, whatever in your case it might be, like ex-girlfriend or recruiter, any type of, right? I'm making this video for all type of people. Yeah, what no one really understands, it's technically the aura. Your aura is bigger, and it is not limited to the space. So stuff can happen everywhere on the world. Like, if someone thinks about you, even if he's on the other side of the globe, he will still pick up on something that you're retaining, because this world is spiritual, and you have a remote aura. And this remote aura, what it's doing is that when someone thinks about you, he thinks in a certain way about you without even noticing it. So someone can be completely unaware of you. Let's say a recruiter. This is the perfect example. When I was last time on a 30-day streak, it was in autumn. A recruiter reached out to me, and I was invited to work for one day so that they can see how is it going. But at that point, I already was with my girlfriend again, and so I got sloppy with my streak, and I was edging. The problem with edging is it lowers your energy over time, so you don't directly notice it. It's like boiling a frog, in hot water. So then, because of that, when I went there for work, it was still fine, but not good enough, and they eventually decided to take someone else. So a little annoyance. But what I'm trying to say is, it all happened because I was on a streak of 30 days that they even reached out to me and wanted to take me and were looking, do I fit or not? I'm sure if I would have continued the streak without edging, but I was not aware enough, then I would have gotten that job. I don't know, is it good, is it bad? It would probably be fine, yeah. So what happens is, the recruiter sees your documents, your application, and then if you are on low energy, you don't have the strong remote aura, what happens is, he is reading through your applications, and maybe they're even good. It's obvious you are qualified, you were studying double degree, master in marketing, like in my case. And so the person thinks, okay, that's a good qualification, but something is still off. It's just intuitive. Intuitively, the recruiter will somehow think something is off, and he will find reasons for this thinking that he has, for this emotion that he feels. He will find some thought patterns that align, and he will say, okay, but because of this and that, we still don't take him. Yeah, somehow he's good on paper, qualified, but somehow I still feel better about this other person. For example, now the other way around. You are on a streak, recruiter sees your stuff, your application, and maybe even there's something not fitting, like, oh, this guy already didn't work for a year. Like, why should I take him? But because you have the high energy, he gets downloaded without even realizing that it's going on. It's not conscious. He gets downloaded somehow a better feeling about you. And he's like, okay, he didn't work for a year, but... And then it goes the other way. Then he finds positive reasons why it's still okay to take you. I feel that still this person will be good for our company. I can see he is having the good degree in this and that, and probably it will fit. Okay, he didn't work for a year, but somehow I have the gut feeling that it will be the right thing. This is how recruiters are choosing people. For example, and this goes, of course, like with everyone else. Of course, when people see you in real life, it's even stronger than remotely, because they also can see that you are glowing. By the way, just to reveal my hunter's eyes, this should always be done during a streak so that you can see that I'm really on the streak, because you get the hunter's eyes, they're like more, I don't know, sharp, more intense, focused, right? But I like the glasses. What was I saying? So when people see you in real life, they can of course see your glow, they can see your hunter's eyes. You look so fresh and so intense, and you always have the good posture, and you're standing in such a cool way, and your voice is like, I don't know, deeper, more melodic. One time, literally, someone told me I have a melodic voice in the past during a streak. So yeah, of course this has a stronger effect, but on top of that, they also get the download. They just see you and they somehow get the download, or this guy has aura, I can feel it, it makes something with my energy just to look at him. Maybe the person gets intimidated or whatever. Respectful towards you. In many cases, it's a mix of these, yeah? Like if you have a pure energy, It's more respect and less intimidation, and this is why children will come up to you and start talking to you and stuff. All of this I experienced, by the way, this weekend multiple times, that children were doing that. Or also an adult, the father of a daughter, I was just chilling with them on the bench because I wanted to sit as well, and he just offered me a cigarette, and normally this never happens. I just have to say the way it is. This was very cool. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that even if people already see you in real life and you have the glow and the charisma and everything, still an important part is that they are just automatically from the ether, from the spiritual realm, downloading a positive perception about you, and they cannot even explain to themselves what's going on. I'm sure, like I already mentioned in previous videos, this happened to you as well. You were just somewhere, there was some person, and you don't know why, but you get an intuitive hit, or this person is someone to be respected, or whatever. Of course, this also goes in the other direction. You see someone and you think, oh, this person, I don't like him. And you don't even can explain why, but somehow you don't like him. And yeah, of course, this also happened to me when I relapsed 2 years ago or so. I mean, actually, it was around autumn, 2023, I guess. And then when I walked out and this bike driver, he came and he nearly drove over me. This was also an intuitive hit for him. Of course, it's not nice, but he got so triggered just by seeing me. Of course, he also got triggered that I'm crossing the street, even though it was my right to cross the street because it was green for me. But still, obviously, he got so triggered, and I'm sure if you would put him on the table, police would come and ask him, why did you do that? He would not even know what to say. He would be like, yeah, somehow I got triggered, this guy, I didn't like him somehow. So I thought, okay, I can be disrespectful. Yeah, this is how it goes. It goes in both directions. But of course, it's not just humans who treat you better when you have the remote aura. The remote aura is an energetical, vibrancy that you have. And it's so strong that it even changes automatically the 3D reality around you. This is why you get lucky obstacles. Obstacles is probably the wrong word. But I mean, you get just lucky, like good stuff starts to happen, you find some money on the floor or something. Lucky coincidences is what I was trying to say. This also happens because you have this energy around you. That's for sure. It's exactly like with quantum mechanics, yeah? There was this thing, it was proven that when you take one atom and you can somehow connect it to another atom, and then they're forever connected, even though you cannot see it, obviously. They look like two separate entities. You can put one somewhere and one on the other side of the universe, and still they are connected. And then when you change the one atom, the other one directly also is changed without any time delay. Not even in light speed, without time delay. And this is what happens in the spiritual realm as well. This is how telepathy works as well. And this is also why your remote aura has such a strong effect. Another funny side story is, like, the girls' attraction is just real. It's happening now, like I had in my last streak in summer. Such a thing never happens, that you just walk on the street, a group of girls walks by, and they need to get your attention, This is next level. I mean, it's one thing you interact with people in your typical bar environment and you realize they're more kind to you and search your attention. This, of course, also happens. But it's another thing when you're just on the street and then people, you just walk by and try to mind your business and they're doing some shit and they're like, boo, something like this, so that you look, because they're like, oh, we're all dressed up and this guy is not even paying attention, and then they get triggered. Or another thing is, I was walking with my girlfriend in another city, and then, because she's Japanese, a guy came by and made some stupid comment. He was saying something, he was trying to speak Japanese, but it was just like annoying, and I just turned around to him and told him, this is racist. And he couldn't do anything against it. I'm right, he knows it, I know it, I'm confident, so what does he want to do? He was just looking at me and went away, Like, you can put people back to their place. This is also something. Yeah. But in general, let's see how it goes. Like, I'm just approaching now my 30 days. I'm still a bit excited when I talk like this in front of camera, for example. You know the meme about the puppy and the dog that is big and has the muscles? I will show it here, the picture. This is how it feels now to be on a 30-day streak. But it's still good because now you're at least visible. You're on the radar. When you're not on the streak, you're not even visible. You know, you're an NPC like most people. But when you're on 30-day streak, you get a lot of already success and people pay positive attention to you and you feel good. But you know you can still grow. In the past, when I had my first streak, it was not like this, but I don't know, over time I got more balanced out and now I really see the value in going longer than this. Like in the past 30 days, I was already completely like a boss, you know, but this is just the first taste, so to speak. And this time I have to put in more effort to stay longer on a streak. But yeah, this time I plan, I don't know, I'm trying to focus on the people who are on 200-day streaks and so on. I want to also like them stay on the streak until this point, and then hopefully I don't even think about relapsing anymore at this point, and I will just continue. Don't know what I have to say when it's my 30-day streak. I mean, in general, there's a lot of good stuff. I just watch sometimes series even for children or whatever, or I have a certain thought coming into my mind and I get high from it for a short moment. I get like a little hit of dopamine. I see it and it's so exciting as if I'm high. Like normally this would not happen, you know. Normally your receptors are dialed down because you are watching the corn and everything and you cannot appreciate other stuff. But if you're retaining, then everything gets much more joyful and exciting and interesting to you. That's one thing. And then you just walk outside, you see the beauty, the nature, some young boys driving on bicycles, some teenagers. You see some guy driving out his Mercedes from his yard. And it's just so joyful somehow to perceive this everyday life. And that you see that it's basically like God's creation and intention. And you feel again like you're young and you're seeing it for the first time. You feel the joy that you would feel normally when you would be younger, seeing all of these things. This is definitely something as well. Oh yeah, let me maybe quickly explain further why I say that on 30-day streak that I'm now approaching, it feels more like you're still in the puppy phase and not in the full-grown dog phase. It's, for example, you know, I walk on the street and then I still sometimes for a moment feel too stiff because in general I sometimes feel very stiff if I'm not on a streak. So still sometimes I walk and I'm a bit too conscious of myself and I'm not easy. But it's definitely not like before because even when I'm like this, I just, for a moment I'm like this and then I go back to being normal. It's just when you pay attention like to, oh, how do people perceive me? Will they judge me or something? Then you get a bit more stiff and then you directly let go again. That's the difference to before. Normally I would walk and I would continue being stiff and a bit awkward maybe. But now, even if it comes to my mind, I quickly lose interest in this thought because other thought patterns are more interesting to me, thinking about something else completely. And then I'm already back in the flow. That's the difference to before. And also recently I had to go to the train station and I was going towards the city, and it's the city of my hometown, and sometimes I like to avoid this part where all the bars are. I don't want to go there because there are all the people sitting and I might know some of them from earlier and it feels like I'm so exposed there. So sometimes I would go around this area. And I also had the idea to go around yesterday, but I was thinking to myself, oh no, I should enjoy my life and live fully. And someone who lives fully would not go around such an area. He would go inside and enjoy the feeling of being around people. And then I quickly, in a millisecond, decided to actually go through the city. And this is also something I surprised myself. I know normally if I would not be on a streak, I for sure in this situation, because I already had this feeling, I would go around. But when you're on a streak, you're like more cocky. Like even something happens that you are a bit excited and stressed maybe, and you think, oh, something can go wrong. You're like, you know what, I go anyway. Like this is how you feel on a streak. You just take the risk and you don't give so much F's about it. Yeah, but it's not all gold. Already like, I don't know, 2 weeks in or something, I had a little issue because some guys were actually testing me. That was also interesting. I think I didn't mention it so far. I was at one of the bars and there are the two toilets and one is for females and one for guys. But to be honest, normally no one cares, and you can go whatever toilet you want because it's just one single room and you can lock it. So when you do it normally and you go there and you sit down, like who cares it's a guy or a female, you know what I mean? And many of us do it and we don't care. But there was one guy, he was so critical about it. And then when I went out of the female toilet, he was like, I see you. Like this, you know? And there were two of his like friends also there, and I was like, what? And then he again was like, yeah, I see you, I see you. And I was like, heh. For the second time, I was like, heh. And then I just went off. And those two friends of him, they were like, hey, laughing that I reacted like this, as if it's like awkward and as if they got me and as if I did something wrong. But I just didn't care because I was already like in my strong energy. So I was just walking off. I even heard them laughing and I just didn't care. Like normally I would get awkward after that. After that, I would somehow get awkward for sure. Maybe I would like nearly stumble or something. But I really didn't give a shit because it's not such a big situation. You know, they have low energy. They need to go and try to test people like me. Many retainers talk about it, right? But you know, fuck them. It's not my issue anymore. You know, too much good stuff happens that I need to worry too much about those people anymore. But this is something I wanted to mention as well, because many retainers say you also get sometimes tested by people. And now I can say from own experience, yeah, it can happen, it can happen. Another thing is that now that I'm on a 28-day streak, I get weird type of urges where you are thinking about, yeah, can I really stay forever without relapsing? You start to think about it, like maybe one day in the future, if I don't know, like you're thinking like, if it happens one time, what will be the effect of it and so on, you know? It's just like on a rational level. It's not even like you really want to relapse. It's more like, what is the dynamics of edging? What is the effect of relapsing? How does it affect and so on? But because you start to think about it, it feels like you get more prone to doing it. And so it gets me worried. And the moment I realize that, I stop these thoughts and I categorize these thoughts already as a sort of mental edging. So I drop them so I can stay on track. And I do that because if I even start to think in this way, I already get worried. And this is actually a good thing. Just like when I think about seeing corn, it gives me the icks. It really worries me. So this is something that helps you to stay on track. Extra tip for those that are dating. You start to discern what woman is good and what woman is bad. If there's a Jezebel, you see her as a Jezebel, especially those that give mixed signals, and you really stop to care about them. Ironically, because they realize you don't care about them, and this happens because you identify them as Jezebels, but also because suddenly you have a lot of options because everyone pays attention to you, and then you, of course, don't care about them anymore. Ironically, when they notice this, they suddenly again give one of their positive mixed signals to try to hook you back in, but you don't care anymore because you're staying in the higher frequencies, and you have the abundance, and because you have the abundance, you can just not be bothered, no matter what they do, and it drives them crazy.